wash my thumb. Swimming. My ankles are swimming. So we did Maguk Gorge today, which was really beautiful. The thing is, it is so damned humid. Wow, it is humid, and there is not a single breath of air. So it is just, yeah, seriously hot. It was a nice waterfall. It was a beautiful swim out there. Had to probably come back a bit early because I said to Sarah, I don't want to be the last person in the water, because there are known to be salties in here. They say that they trap them and whatever, but they also say that, you know, a salty can come in undetected. So over and above the freshies, the salties can be here. So I didn't want to be the last person in the water. So yeah, beautiful waterfall, bit of a trek in, 2 kilometers. But yeah, just so humid. Wow, it's humid, and it's just not a breath of air.
Yeah, it's quite warm.
So very, very warm.
And yeah, we just found out that Jabiru Falls
Yeah.
and Twin Falls are closed.
Don't ask me how, but somehow I thought that I heard that Jim was open, because if I'd known Jim wasn't open, I would never have even come here. I mean, not that there's things to see in Kakadu, but probably the 90% thing to see is Jim Falls and Twin Falls, which, if they're closed, it's a long way to drive for nothing.
So what are we going to do tomorrow, guys?
So tomorrow, I don't know whether we go back for, what was it? The Gunlam Water Freak Coals, or whether we just head up to Jabiru, go up to Ubirr, and then go back to Darwin, and who knows, maybe see where Jim's at once we pick the car up, whether we come back this way to go to Jim. Don't know. See how it goes. Campgrounds here at Maguk are quite nice. Nice and sort of like probably spread out a little bit, aren't they? There's a few places which are close together. We are
fairly close to the neighbours behind us, but they are a quiet family, so we don't really notice them.
Yep. Well, there's a few places further in that are quite close together and a bit packed up, but we seem to have found our little spot here, which is away from a few people, so it's quite nice.
And having the fire on and the mosquito coils on to keep the mozzies away.
Yep, we have 3 mosquito coils going out of fire, so in an event to keep the mosquitoes away. So we'll see what we do tomorrow.
Plumed whistling duck and the wandering whistling duck. So the plumed whistling duck have white feathers sticking up on their sides and they have pink feet, and the wandering have more of a coppery colour and they have black feet, a browner coppery colour, they have black feet. So these ducks don't sound like ducks, they don't quack. You can hear the little noise they're making now. And they also don't act like ducks. So the wandering whistling ducks are more brave, and you'll only see them in water up to about their chest height. They refuse to go in open water, and they just spend all day in the mud eating or under the shade hiding from predators. And when night time comes, they'll all take you to the skies and fly around pretty much all night because it's safer to fly around than have enemies be able to sneak up on you. So if everyone looks at that little pond behind them. So we're already going close to that tree, and I asked that nobody touch any of the plants today, but especially the tree in front of us, as it is nicknamed the Itchy Bush. Oh, it's the camera shot. Both sides. Look on our left hand side now. So generally the crocodiles stay on the bank and let us get really close to them. But this one's a bit shy. So you can just see his head sticking up out of the water. This is a saltwater crocodile. So you can see the bumps behind his eyes. Only saltwater crocodiles have those. Saltwater crocodiles also have a wider snout than freshwater crocodiles. Freshwater crocodile has a narrower, pointier snout. But the easiest way to tell the difference is the bumps behind their eyes. Or black-necked stork. Depends who you ask, but the name Jabiru belongs to a bird in South America, so they are called black-necked storks.
Got like a blue iridescence to it.
Yeah.
Pretty.
So if everyone can see its eye, that's a female Jabiru. So females have golden irises and males have black irises. Jabiru's have a wingspan of about 2 meters, and their beak is so strong it breaks a turtle shell. So on our right hand side we can see the shrubby bush, which is called the Itchy Bush, also called the punishment tree. So binning people, and binning refers to the Aboriginal people in the north of Kakadu. Binning people will tell you that when they were younger and they acted up, their elders would tell them to go play in this tree. And there's a little grub that lives on this tree that when it gets on your skin will make you itchy for a few days. And so they learn not to act up again.
You see that one?
The crocodile looks like it's having a bit of a yawn. The crocodiles are cold-blooded animals, so they rely on external factors to heat and cool their body. And so they say when crocodiles are opening their mouth, they're using it to regulate their body temperature. There's no actual proof of that. Crocodiles just open their mouth because they can, they want to show off. So here we can witness crocodiles doing something called edge feeding, where they push their body up against the bank or a clump of grass, and they move their tail backwards and forwards in such a way that it forces fish to swim between their body and the bank, and the only way for the fish to escape is to go past the crocodile's mouth.
Oh, fish. Fish.
So there's a fish jumping over the crocodile and it never escapes.
That's a dead fish.
This is the spot where we don't point over the edge of the boat. Well, the whole trip is we don't point over the edge of the boat, but especially here. So we've had no official crocodile surveys done here, but based on what tour guides see, we say 30 crocodiles per kilometre. So for all the crocodiles you see here, there's probably about 20 we don't see. And it's never the crocodile you can see that you're worried about. Muscle in a crocodile is the tail. It's where the most meat is. So if you ever eat crocodile, you probably eat crocodile tail.
So if you can eat gotta push a fish up to it, right?
He might be angry that I'm in his space and he wants to get up on the bank. They're about medium-sized spiders, and only one spider made that tide thing. Oh my god!
That's huge.
You wouldn't be hungry now, would you?
They're non-venomous, and the difference between venomous and poisonous is if you bite it and you get sick, it's poisonous, and if it bites you and you get sick, it's venomous. So the water is about 8 meters back in the river, but we go 100 meters further down here and the water will get shallow and we'll get bogged.
Yeah.
And if we get bogged, I legally can't leave the helm of the boat, so someone else has to push. The crocodile in the middle of that, that's the largest crocodile that hangs out here. We call this area the honey hole. You can see it's very much a lighter colour compared to the other crocodiles. So crocodiles change colour depending on the water that they're in. So the longer they're in fresh water, the darker colour they become. So that crocodile is probably new from the salt water. It's a very yellowy colour. So on the left-hand bank, you can see a bunch of black birds, but there's a bird sitting there with its arms outstretched. That's the snake-neck darter. So these birds have a very low oil content in their feathers, so it allows them to basically fly underneath the water. But it means when they come out of the water, they need to stand there like this and dry their feathers out. And so if you see him, looks like he's preening, so touching the feathers above his tail feathers, but there's actually an oil gland there that he's stimulating to make the oil come back faster. So darters don't actually grab their food between their beak, they impale it. So you'll come up and you'll see that the fish is just stabbed on that, like a kebab or a skewer. And the spiky grass that I'm trying not to run over is the water chestnut. So at the bottom of that it grows the water chestnut, which is the same one that you get in cans. Sticking up out of the grass. And those belong to the lotus lily. So the lily pad for this grows up out of the ground, out of the water. This is the same lotus lily you find in Asia. Came to Australia a long time ago. The exact number is undetermined, but it is depicted in rock art. But it's been here for so long that it's naturalised. So not native, but it works in the environment as if it was native now. It doesn't harm the environment anyway. The seed pods for it look like an old-fashioned shower head, and you can see the little seeds in there, and you can eat the seeds. So you peel the green outer layer off the seeds, and it tastes like a green bean plus a walnut. As we get closer, you'll be able to see on the lily pads are hydrophobic, which means they repel water. So you'll be able to see little bits of speeded up all the water. It looks like mercury. There's lots of little hairs on the lily pad that keep the water up off it. But I can see a few dried up seed pods sticking out of the grass. They're a bit brown in colour. The Bini people, they would come down to the water's edge and they'd find the biggest lily pad that they could. And they dunk it under the water and lift it up and tie the top, and that would be their water bottle when they went for walks up into stone country or areas where there wouldn't be a lot of water. Flying around to the right hand side of us. It's a very small hunt spot, but it's called a rainbow bee eater. It has very prominent rainbow colours if it's in the right light. Goodness me.
What did we do today, Daz?
Today we did yellow waters, saw a whole bunch of crocodiles. There's actually quite a number of them. I counted like 12 at one stage in just one spot.
Yeah, it was really cool. And I think, like you just said, so they weren't just lying around sunning themselves and them outside, but they were actually quite active. So they were fishing, edge fishing, chasing fish, having fish jump out of the water.
Yeah, it was quite good. And the girl that, it was really funny because the girl that came on the boat in the morning, I said to Sarah, I said, oh, we've got a newbie, because she was. But oh man, did she know stuff?
Yeah.
Like, the information that she had was just amazing. It was great.
Yeah, we did ask her how long she's been on the job, and she said just her 4th week.
They do a TAFE course and everything beforehand and stuff,
So yeah, she knew quite a lot of
so much stuff.
the birds and the rocks and all the details, which was really cool. And yeah, some amazing bird life in Kakadu. It's incredible. Like, we saw some beautiful birds today. Which one was your favourite?
I don't know, probably the Jabiru, I suppose, just because it's got some really interesting colours and textures and sort of things.
I like what was it, the black shiny ibis?
Yeah.
That was quite pretty too. And that little rainbow bee eater.
Oh, yeah, phone review. What's with this?
I know. I didn't
Since when do we do reviews on phones?
I didn't bring the GoPro to the place.
I don't know. I'm not sure if this is going to work.
So we went to Ubirr this afternoon for sunset. So it was our furthest away point from home.
So it was the extent that we intended to get to. So Kakadu, you know, as I've often said, Kakadu wasn't really our destination. It was just the furthest point we would get to. Ubirr would be the top of that. So we've hit the end point.
And it was
We did it in a hire car, which was not how it was supposed to be, but we did it.
And it was beautiful despite the million of people.
Oh my goodness, the people.
Everywhere. Like
buses and school groups and
you couldn't find a quiet little spot on a rock to just observe the land, observe the sunset. It was just a bit mad, but it was still beautiful. Very, very, like the green in Arnhem Land was just incredible. And then the sunset was really beautiful.
I remember on my first time around standing up there and just like going, wow, this is just like one of the most beautiful places in Australia. And yeah, pretty much is.
And now we've just come back to the caravan park that we're staying in, had dinner.
Because we haven't had enough of screaming children and whatever.
Yeah, so the caravan park has a pool.
And apparently the pool tables become the bistro at this time of night. So we are in the bistro.
Well, I'm actually really loving this soundtrack that they've been playing. It's been really good.
It's been good.
It's been good. So yeah, tomorrow we'll have a bit of a reset day.
I freaked someone out on the drive back from Jabiru because I don't know what speed would they've been doing, like 50 kilometers an hour in 110 zone. And you can imagine how quickly I came. And oh my goodness, they turn high beams on and off and flashes and indicators and hazard lights and everything. It's like, seriously, I'm just going to go past you.
It was like their car went into milk.
In the meantime, our car started flashing all sorts of lights because we were coming up on a car so quickly. It was hilarious to watch. All these flaming lights going off left, right and centre.
So tomorrow we'll have a bit of a reset day.
Do some washing.
Some chilling out by the pool, hopefully.
Well, there's no point in going back to Darwin at the moment because the car's not ready. Which is a whole nother expense, honestly. Cars. The guy's been very good. The mechanic has been very, very good. Tom's express auto repairs. So yeah, he's been really awesome. So there's no point really in heading back to Darwin because there's nothing to do between here and Darwin. There's not a lot to do in Darwin that we want to do. So just we might chill out here for an extra day and relax. And we're going to go and have a well-earned hot shower with soap tonight rather than sufficing with a swim in the creek. It was really odd to actually swim in a swimming pool that's chlorinated because all the creeks and lakes and whatever that we've swum in, and then all of a sudden you hit chlorination and you're like, what the?
Right, yeah, I'm going to sign off here. So Daz, we walked into the IGA here in Jabiru, and what can you buy?
A TV.
Okay. Lawnmower.
That's a rice cooker.
And a rice cooker.
Air conditioning.
It's like Jabiru's version of Aldi.